Hi, John. Well, in that last outing, as you guys mentioned, with Shohei Ohtani only serving as the pitcher, not his usual two-way self as the pitcher and the DH, that was the first time we saw him do that in Dodger blue. But of course, the question has remained, is it something that they might consider, especially considering Shohei Ohtani is getting older? He's still heating things up offensively, but he really has been excellent on the mound. Dave Roberts talked about just that and all the things that he's taking into consideration this afternoon.
I think probably the thing that stood out is his consistency to execute his entire pitch mix. There's a four-seamer, there's a two-seamer in there, the curveball to slow the hitter down, the sweeper. So, yeah, he just in the split. So he's just got really good feel right now.
How much is there a conversation moving forward about not having him hit like you did in his last start? He has 60 at-bats since he started pitching with you guys. His batting average is .217. He has 2 home runs. He's 31 years old now. How much of a open conversation is there between you and Andrew and Shohei?
We haven't had the conversation. If you look at the overall numbers, it's certainly something I still feel really good about putting his name in the lineup. I know the last start, I chose not to have him hit and just pitch, and I am open to it, you know, we'll see. But it's something that we've certainly flagged, but I think overall we still, and also you have to look at what's the option. And I think in years past or last year, you got to kind of weigh who's a different option. Well, now at least you can say that Dalton's swinging a good bat, and to keep him, consistently getting some at bats could be helpful. But like I said, I'm going to continue to keep an eye on it.
So while that last outing for Shohei Ohtani was essentially an outlier of an occasion, Dave Roberts has shared that it is something that they're watching, they're open to it, but right now they're going to continue with him as truly being that two-way player for Shohei. As Dave Roberts was saying, he has been excellent, a .50 ERA through his first 3 starts, really seeing the swing and miss in his last one. And Dave has shared that he just feels that Shohei Ohtani has his full pitch mix today, or excuse me, has his full pitch mix this season, of course, just being healthy and being able to get deeper into the games. So for today, they do want him to serve as that stopper to not only just salvage this road trip, to have them in a position to leave coming out of San Francisco in a position where they could have multiple wins on this trip, but also in a way to salvage the series, guys.
All right. He's pitching the next day and just kind of tax him. And
I was hoping he was going to steal everything.
Right.
Yeah, a little bit. It was just like, okay, I'm going to get him out on the bases. And yeah, there's a little bit of that too.
Truth be told, he likes being on base, obviously. And he was exhausted, which bled into the next day, I'm sure, right?
Yeah. When we knew we were getting him game 7, too, kind of on short rest. I don't know how he does what he does, for one. I've watched him, and you see him kind of go through his process of getting ready to pitch, then getting ready to hit, and then he's on base a lot, then he's running. He's unbelievable first to third stealing bases. So part of it was, yeah, man, I just don't want to see you swing right now, and maybe we can get you tired for tomorrow.
It worked.
Yeah, it's the first time I've said it publicly.
And we were talking about that, and it was like, that's brilliant. I asked him after that 18 a.m., I go, hey, man, are you good to go tomorrow? And he's like, I'm pitching. But he did his IVs and left, but it just wasn't sharp, and because he was exhausted.
That was from Jeff Passan's fascinating 90-minute podcast with the managers from last year's World Series when the Dodgers were in Toronto a couple weeks ago. John Schneider acknowledging really what all managers are confronted with. How do you get Shohei Ohtani out? But also interesting, Nomar, to hear him admit that after Shohei goes 4 for 4 with 2 bombs in Game 3, and that game continues, he just walked him every time because he wanted to tire him out because he had to pitch the next day.
Yeah, I mean, those things are all you're thinking about, right? As a manager, you're thinking about all the little things. You're thinking about what goes into not only that game, but the next game potentially. And listen, I know you're in the postseason, but you recognize that there could be another game going on. So things that you got to keep in the back of your mind. So putting him on base, tiring him out, like Snyder said, he goes, I don't know how he does it. And, we as Dodger fans are watching it, and it's easy to get really spoiled because we're watching, but at the same time, we do. And Jerry and I both trying to take a step back. And what he is doing is amazing, truly is amazing. I know what Craig Counsell's like complaining about, oh, there's a special, they had a special Dodger rule. That rule goes to anybody. You can have anybody you want on your team. He could pitch and he could DH, and you get the exact same rules that apply to that person. But you just don't have people doing that. That's what makes him so special and unique. And we're lucky enough as fans to be able to watch this.
Absolutely. I was teammates with Counts, and Counts is a great dude. And I think he's just a little frustrated, but you're exactly right. You can designate another
position player. They can pitch, nothing stopping you. So it's Shohei, who's extremely special. He does two things that are extremely difficult, great. Incredible player, and yes, we have never seen this before. And I said it a couple times. Babe Ruth didn't do this.
He did not.
He did not do what Shohei Ohtani is doing now.
Listen, there's a lot of guys who've pitched in the big leagues, who were unbelievable hitters. I mean, Darren Dreifort was an unbelievable hitter in college. I mean, he DH'd and he went off goal. He was a stud. And then all of a sudden you get to the big leagues and why didn't they have him do that? You know, because he could swing the bat, because it is that difficult to do both. And that's what this guy is doing.
Mark
so
Mulder,
much out of him.
I grew up with Mark Mulder, was an incredible, he was our best hitter.
Yeah.
Couldn't hit it at all in the big leagues. Sorry, Mark.
The Dodgers' two-way sensation Shohei Ohtani, his numbers really tell the story. Healthy to start the season, which is a change from a year ago when he was still recovering from a left shoulder surgery, and he has looked as good as ever. Of note, though, in his last start against the Mets, Ohtani pitched but did not hit, which is the first time that's happened since 2021 because he got banged up. He got hit in his shoulder by a pitch, but he is supposedly 100% ready to go for tonight. And then the Giants right-hander Tyler Mahle with that 7.23 ERA, 0-3 record to start the year, looking to bounce back from a brutal start against the Reds where he gave up 4 home runs. We're going to talk more about that in just a bit. He's called the greatest show in baseball, guys, for good reason. It's Shohei Ohtani getting the start on the bump, so we're going to show you some of his arsenal and talk about how he's done against the Giants. Spoiler alert, he's been very good, as he's been against most teams in Major League Baseball. This is the Comcast business, every connection. The 5-time All-Star has been not just good, not just great, elite. He's 1-0 with a .6 ERA in 3 career starts against the Giants, 1 earned run in 15 innings pitched. Ohtani has won 4 MVP awards in the past 5 years, all of them unanimously of note, and he's been just as good to start out this 2026 season. We're talking about this off the air. It seems like his velo, a lot of his stuff is getting close to where it was prior to the injury. Now, in his last start against the Mets, Ohtani struck out a season-high 10 batters in 6 innings of work. The Dodgers beat the Mets in that game 8-2, and he did touch 100 miles per hour with his fastball. What sticks out to you, George, when you watch this guy on the mound?
Everything. I mean, look, he's put himself in categories with Babe Ruth, and he's leading in a lot of other categories across Major League Baseball. I mean, it's really interesting that and impressive, more so than interesting, just how he continues to do it at such a high level. I mean, his fastball averages 98 miles an hour. He's got a repertoire of 6 different pitches. This year, he's only given up 1 hit. Hitters are 1 for 19 off of all of his breaking balls, which is a .053 batting average against. He came into this season riding a 10-plus innings scoreless streak. He ended up going 28 in a third or 29 innings scoreless dating back to last year. He's only given up 2 runs, 1 earned on the season this year. It's just really impressive to watch somebody with a talent like this to do it what he's doing, go out there and compete every day and then every 5th day. So it's annoying when he plays against us because he's on the Dodgers, but you really have to respect what Shohei Ohtani is capable of doing every single day on the baseball field. Yeah, you got to appreciate, at least to some degree, what he's doing in Major League Baseball because it is truly special. So Ohtani has a wide, diverse pitching arsenal, and then you mentioned it's the breaking ball that's been nearly unhittable this season. But overall, when you look at the arsenal, when you look at the stuff, Rich, what is it, why is it that he is so tough to hit? If you want to demonstrate for us here
as a hitter, I remember talking to Barry Bonds a lot when I played with him, and Barry's like, you always got to take 1 pitch away from the guy. Okay, well, if I take 1 pitch away, he still has 6 pitches that he could throw me, not like 2 or 3 others. So you look at the pitches right here, and, I don't want to say you could throw out the sinker, slider, cutter, because all of a sudden he's going to come in and probably drop that on you. But the problem here is every one of these pitches is better than average, way above average. And when you mix it with the velocity of the fastball and the 4-seamer, and it's coming out of that same slot or that same little window pane, as a hitter, you have to gear up for the 98, 99, because if you're looking for something else, there's no chance you're going to catch up. So if there's something you could look for, I mean, for me as a hitter against him, and this is hard to say because the velocity is so great, try and get something up in the zone, because I think he uses that sweeper and that split as like devastating out pitches, strikeout pitches. So maybe try and raise your sights a little bit tonight. But then again, if you're a little bit off and it's a little too high, then you're swinging through or right under 98. So Giants hitters have their work cut out for them tonight. And as much as this guy, I said earlier, as much as he's been a nuisance at the plate, we're going to see what he can do on the mound tonight. And he's pitching better this year than he's hitting so far.
All right, guys, game 2 between the Giants and Dodgers. We'll pass it off to you. Have a great call.
All right, thanks, Kylie. So anyway, Mike, here we go with Shohei Ohtani, and he's always the big story. And the last game that he pitched, he wasn't in the lineup as far as hitting, but today he is leading off. He's the DH as well, and I don't know. It's a lot of 1,000 different reasons why this guy is so exciting.
Well, he's got his fastball back, and in times previous to this year, the Giants haven't seen him have a fastball that averages 97 miles per hour. He's got electric stuff. You have to be able to beat him early in the count because you don't want to be in a 2-strike count against him. How they handle that scenario and how they can take advantage of balls in the strike zone early, that's going to determine the outcome of this ball game. On the flip side of this coin, you've got Tyler Mahle, who is coming out of really a rough start. His ERA is in the 7th. But if you think back to last year when he was at the Rangers, the only time he faced the Dodgers, he shut them out for 7 innings. So it may sound weird when one guy's got an ERA of 0.0 or 0.50, Ohtani, and another guy who's got an ERA in the 7s. I think it's all about pitching. Hunter, we're talking about Ohtani, and he throws 98-mile-an-hour average. When a guy has the weapons that he has, how would you approach him as a hitter?
Well, you got to, in my opinion, you got to gamble. You got to try to get one and sell out. You just can't be in between because the stuff is too dynamic. If you're in between, you're going to hit everything bad. So you either completely miss or completely hit your pitch, and you got to be really patient with that. It has to be a zeroed-in focus on knowing the movement of each pitch and what that approach to each pitch is going to be, and you need to be willing to switch it out pitch by pitch. Like, I'm all in on fastball. I'm all in on slider. I know where I want it to start. And the other thing you mentioned is, like, if someone's throwing 100, a lot of times you want to get bigger, get faster, swing harder, but you actually got to do less. Let the pitch supply the pop. It's not a do nothing, but it's like similar to that whole, surfing thing. You can't do nothing, but don't do too much.
Really wasting an outstanding pitching performance from Shohei Ohtani. Was brilliant through 6 innings in this game. And the Giants, they got the one big swing of the game against Jack Dreyer off the bat of Patrick Bailey.
Yeah, Patrick Bailey, obviously, he's had some history against the Dodgers. He's got big hits, but I think the story really was the Dodgers offense or lack thereof. They could not really manufacture anything, get anything going with the bat. Shohei Ohtani was outstanding once again. Back-to-back nights, not being able to support your starting pitcher, I know that hurts as an offense.
No doubt. And that was the story last night. Same story today because the starting pitching was outstanding both nights. Today, they couldn't give themselves many opportunities, and they only had 3 at-bats with runners in scoring position. And you're really not going to win games when you just manage just 4 hits. When you get 4 hits, it's really going to be hard to score some runs just that way. And they need to figure out something to kind of get this offense going collectively because, listen, you tip your hat to the other opposing pitcher, executed their pitches, but I think they also made today's pitcher look a little bit better than some of the pitches that he did. I mean, he was good. We knew he had a good split finger, kept the ball down, got some ground balls, induced contact. Nothing against that, but I think they took some pitches that they probably should have. They fouled off some pitches that they could have handled, and that's something that they have to look and say, okay, we got to figure something out and really come out on Game 3.
Yeah, Tyler Mahle came into this game with an ERA over 7. Certainly threw the ball much better than that tonight, but did leave some hittable pitches in the zone. But Shohei Ohtani, Nomar, outstanding, is pulling double duty once again on the mound tonight. 6 innings, does not allow a run. He's still only allowed 1 run in 4 starts this year.
Yeah, he looked great once again. I mean, that fastball, he had some life in that fastball, and he was getting it up to 100 miles an hour at times. So he had the velocity, but then it's really been the breaking ball because that fastball, as you're looking for it as a hitter, you have to be ready to try to catch up to it. And then he throws you a devastating breaking ball that just is breaking off the table. And it's different looks. It's different breaks on that. It's a slider, one that sweeps a little bit more, one that it just changes everything. He's got the split finger to add to that. So really good job once again by Shohei Ohtani.
You know what's amazing? There's kids out there worldwide are imitating his batting stance. The show, put the foot down, fire. If I was a young pitcher, I would imitate his delivery. I would. It's slow, methodical. He's got a nice rhythm and flow to it. And then before you know it, it gets on you as a hitter. He's balanced, and then he explodes at the very end. Now, obviously, I know he's 6'4". I know he's a big dude. But David Cone had that delivery. Yeah. Cone wasn't the biggest guy. Cone's probably 6 feet. But what it does, it protects your shoulder, protects your arm. You use your entire body. That's the delivery. If I was a young pitcher, I would imitate. And there's a guy in our rotation, I think he needs to go to something similar to not be so herky-jerky, have that rhythm and flow. And I think everybody knows what I'm talking about. But what an incredible performance, once again, from Shohei Ohtani. This guy does what he does at the plate, and he is so locked in as a pitcher. Fun to see.
Yeah, Nomar, you mentioned him with the 100-mile-an-hour fastball. In the 5th inning of this game, his fastball was averaging 100 miles per hour, and you could tell that he realized it. Will Smith realized that he had a great fastball tonight. It was way up from the average velocity we've seen this year, and they threw it 52% of the time as opposed to regularly 42% of the time.
Yeah, he was throwing his fastball. They recognized that, and that, as you should. The other thing, too, is why we love Shohei, aside from what he does on the field, but he watches our show. In the pregame show, you had Oral Hershiser saying that he needs to get strike one more often. He needs to get ahead. We followed that up, say, yes, we'd like to see him get ahead, maybe be more efficient, maybe also pitch a contact because he's forcing these guys to hit. He got ahead of these hitters, so he was getting ahead, forcing them to swing the bat, try to put that ball in play, but we also know that he has swing and miss stuff as well to go with it. But the fastball command to get ahead of the hitters was key.
Shohei, when you look at just this outing, it's clear you had all of your stuff working. Can you describe just navigating through their lineup and being so efficient tonight?
登板振り返って、効率よく球の質も良かったんですけども、どう思いました？
全体的に調子が良かったのかなと思うんですけども、やっぱりいいペースでは来てたので7回までいければベストだったかなとは思います。
Felt really good overall. I just hope that I was able to get into the 7th.
In that 6th inning, how did you find just kind of the stuff playing? So we obviously saw the emotions with that final strikeout.
6回3アウト取った時も感情的でしたけども、その回を振り返ってみてどうでした？
どうですか、ライン線抜けて最後は2、3塁で収まってはいたので、もう最後は三振だけ狙いに行って、投げました。
Yeah, double down the line. Thankfully, the run didn't score, so it was a big out for me to be able to get that punch out.
Talk about wanting to get into the 7th inning. I mean, what do you think the need is from your side to be able to get back out there and just, I guess, pitch count was at 93, but to put yourself in a position to push some more?
どういう工夫で7回投げれるかっていうか、なんか。
どうですか、今日はもう 0-0 だったので、球数よりももう1点もやらないことの方が重要だったので、ゲームを見ながら打ち取らせるところはしっかり前に飛ばせて、早いカウントでアウトが取れれば長くは投げれるとは思いますけど、今日のゲームはそういうゲームではなかったので、1イニング1イニングどっちが先に点を取るかのゲームだったのかなと思ってます。
Yeah, just considering the game score, it was really important to not give the first run of the game, so I was really focused on that. Now, if I had the lead, then I think I would have been able to, pitch to contact and reduce the pitch count. But today it was just reading the situation, the game score. I just had to prioritize on getting outs.
Of the game, it was really 6 outstanding innings, Nomar, from Shohei tonight. What did you see from him?
Well, using everything. I mean, you really can't sit on any pitch when you're facing Shohei Ohtani, and especially when he has so many working. We're going to go to the K zone and look at his slider, if you want to call it a sweep or whatever you want to call it, and then his other pitches at his arsenal. But first, it starts off with the fastball, as here he is 2-2. This is on the glove side with the fastball, being able to utilize that run on the outer half, but on the same glove side, he's able to throw that breaking ball on the outer side to get the swing and miss. But it is so tight and such a late break that you end up getting a swing and miss because it looks like a fastball. Then when you're expecting maybe a breaking ball, he comes back in with the fastball, another fastball on the arm side, getting the ground ball. You really can't sit on anything. Here's 2-1. What do you look for? Fastball maybe? No, there's a split finger that's going away, and you end up getting the ground ball as well. You can't sit on any pitch. 3-2. Instead of glove side, he goes arm side with the fastball. Now 2-2. Maybe I'm going to get a breaking ball. No, he climbs the ladder with a fastball. 1-2. Fastball? Nope. There's the breaking ball to get the swing and miss. Nothing you can sit on. Everything is working. And, yeah, he's tough.
The 3 best pitchers in the world right now, Paul Skeens, Skubal, and obviously Yamamoto. He is now entering that conversation. He is lights out. Great rhythm and tempo, again, to his delivery. He's got 5 pitches. That curveball, the sweeper, the curveball, he shapes it in 3 or 4 different ways. It's so hard for hitters to square all those pitches up. Again, he is a dominant pitcher once again.
Well, Dave, first just with Shohei Ohtani, and even when you look at this game, I mean, it was clear he was excellent tonight. What were you just seeing from him and how he's continued to just build off of each outing this year?
He was outstanding. gosh, you saw it from the outset. Just his where his head was at, the velocity. You know, it was going to be hard to get runs off him tonight, and you know, unfortunately, we couldn't support him on the offensive side. But yeah, I mean, he was. Can't say enough about how good he was tonight on the mound. It's tough. It's certainly tough. You know, because you're you know, both those guys obviously are tremendous players, and they're getting the most at bats, and so for them to be productive makes everyone else. It makes it easier and more helpful, and creating stress and building innings and things like that. So, you know, Shohei's still getting on base at close to a 400, you know, clip. But yeah, you know, obviously with Shohei, you expect. We always expect more from Shohei, but yeah, you know, it's just one of those things. These last couple nights, we just haven't really swung the bats well. We haven't.
Ohtani coming in 91 pitches after the sixth, and it was also his most high-stress inning of the game. When you're weighing a decision to take him out, how much are you weighing the game strategy, but also the need to have him on both sides of the ball for the entire season?
Yeah, that was kind of my math. You could see that early on he was not stressed, but the velocity was up. I haven't looked at it, but it's probably his highest velocity game, you know, from pitch one. And then you take that sixth inning where you can see he was emptying the tank right there, because we clearly haven't been scoring runs. And so for me, you know, the short view is it's easy to kind of take a chance with him in the seventh inning. For me, I just felt that we've got to take the long view with him also. It's April. And so I still felt good about Jack right there and finishing with Vesia and Tanner, or Tanner Vesia. And we just unfortunately couldn't take care of the seventh inning. And that's baseball. But for me, it wasn't too much of a decision as far as toiling to send him back out there after I saw that sixth inning.
The mound visit with Will, to the way like he kind of celebrated coming off, is that about as like animated as you've seen him, especially like in the middle of a pitching start like that?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that, you know, as we all watch pitchers, and you know, certainly starting pitchers, and when they you know, get to a crescendo, a climax in a game, and they exhaust that adrenaline, that emotion, it's hard to manufacture that again the next inning. And so then you add in the stress, and so again, it's April. I'm not going to push any of our guys to the point for something else to happen, you know, that we don't want.
Days ago, we were chatting. You went 2 for 3 tonight, got a hit off one of the best in baseball in Shohei Ohtani. What, aside from the Wheaties, was working for you tonight?
He has a pretty good fastball, so I didn't want to stay off of it.
Okay.
His breaking pitches were pretty good. I just think we just had to put at bats together. I think we did whatever we could. At the end of the day, he's a great pitcher, so I gotta give him his props. So, but we did the job. We did it when we needed to do it, and I feel good that we came out with the win.
Absolutely.
Elliot, you guys have been playing much better baseball as of late. The second half of that road trip that you guys were just on went a little bit better. And then you guys come home and you have the Dodgers, and they were at the top of the NL West playing really good baseball. And you guys just took the first two of them, going for the sweep tomorrow. How big of a series could this be when the rivalry and all the things that go with Giants-Dodgers, if you guys can continue this momentum into tomorrow and beyond?
I mean, the energy is great. You know, every time that we face the Dodgers at home or in their plays, the vibes are like unmatched. But at the end of the day, this is a long season. I think we're just focusing on winning one series at a time and just trying to like stay consistent so we can make the playoffs. That's all we got in our minds, and that's our goal right now.
Elliot, when you face a guy like Ohtani, like tonight, with such a high velocity, with so many above average pitches, your approach is usually stay inside the ball. It looks like hit the ball from the other way. Is there anything in your mind that you have to tell yourself, like, man, I need to speed up a little bit here tonight, or do you concentrate on keeping the same approach?
No, when you speed up, that's the problem. I think that's the only problem. In the first at bat, it was kind of tough to see it. I haven't seen him. I only saw him in spring training, and the energy, like the intensity is not the same. So he's just working on his stuff. So today he was throwing the ball like pretty hard. I think this is the third time I ever faced him. So that first at bat was kind of like caught me off guard a little bit. I didn't know his fastball was really that good. I knew it was good, but not like that. And then my second at bat, I tried to ambush him. He threw me a sweeper. Then I tried to I saw the fastball. He made a good pitch up and in. Then after that, I just wanted to battle. I just wanted to see him kind of stay the other way so I could stay on the sweeper and I could stay on the fastball at the same time. But my timing is the main thing right now. I feel really good with my timing. After that, with 2 strikes, I was just trying to shoot him the other way so I can stay on that sweeper because I know he likes that sweeper off the plate. And I think he did a mistake just throwing me that splitter, but I mean, good for me then.
Good for you. Absolutely.
I agree. For you, man.
Very good for you.